Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about this book. This is called Edward's Crochet Imaginarium. Okay, so this book cost me $13.81 or $13.31, I don't remember, approximately $13 off of Amazon. And I actually was introduced to this book from a knitting / crochet buddy that attends my knit group. And just so you know, this Edward's Crochet guy, it's by Carrie Lord, maybe Carrie. I didn't look into who wrote this book. I believe it is a woman though that designed it. Anyway, there is a number of books that she has making dolls and all kinds of creatures and animals. So basically, I'm going to give you a quick intro on how this book works. That way, if you want to buy it, you can see what it's like before you purchase it, and then I can show you what I made out of this book. Okay, so my tip for you is I would go right to the back of the book, okay? Now, when I first opened it, I went to this part here and started looking at the different arms and legs, which is fine, but there's more information in the back that is helpful. First is the standard body. This head and body is what you use for all of the creatures, okay? The other thing that was important that I didn't realize, because I just handed this book over to my boys and said, choose the parts you want, and I'll make that creature. Well, Jaren, my darling, chose for me level 3 skills. Okay, so she breaks it up into 3 different skill levels, and each of them are depicted, the background, with this different type of wood picture. I guess she likes wood. So for example, this right here is on this like medium color brown, so it's a level 2. Now Jaren, my darling, chose the one on the dark color wood, which means it's a level 3. Now, I will tell you, in order to do the level 3, and I've been crocheting for maybe 5 years, pretty avidly, pretty regularly, I had to look up the stitch, okay? So that's the first thing. So when you're thinking about whether or not you're gonna make what parts, look to the color wood that is in the background, because that is a medium, you know, and this is a hard, okay? This would be a hard bottom, hard arms and hard legs, easy head. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now the next thing that was interesting is she gives you some pointers on designing your monster, okay? Also, she gives you everything that you will need. She uses Toft yarns to make hers. I used Big Twist and Red Heart, any amigurumi, okay? Also, she talks about the different color yarns and how you can go to use them to partner together, like what yarn colors look good together. She talks about the different weight of yarn, and one of the really exciting things that I liked about this book is she shows you what it looks like if you make this pattern with the smallest of yarn all the way up to chunky. So this is made with fine, DK, Aran or worsted, and then chunky yarn. So that's really nice. You can go ahead and flip to any pattern you design your monster and make it with small yarn, fine yarn, and have a little tiny guy, and make that exact same one with worsted / Aran weight and make a bigger guy. So I thought that was really nice. She then also tells you, in case you know you don't see it on your label, if you're going to use a chunky, you're going to want to use an 8, what size hook you're going to want, and approximately what size the monster will be, okay? Also, there's tails. Now, Jaren did not choose a tail for his monster, but here are all the different tails that you could put on if you want. Then the other thing that she does is talks about changing the color pattern. If you want to have a stripe or speckled, she gives you the pattern on how to do that with your guy. Okay, so now my guy, I just did a solid color one. I didn't fool around with stripes or speckles. Now, the other really awesome thing that she did is she took some main bodies that she has on the back here and showed you how to do that technique with the pattern. So here's a super fuzzy guy. Here's a guy that has like moles on his body. He's a lumpy guy. And then she shows you all these monsters that she designed, and then she gives you the body parts that she chose. So basically the pattern, if you want to design number 1. If you like, oh, I like monster number 1, I'm not going to make up my own, I'm going to do him. She then tells you, she gives them a name. Number 6 is Josh. Number 15 is Caleb. And she tells you how she put him together. Okay, so that's another really fun thing. Now, she also, I'm flipping through, look at this, look at Ivan. Holy cats. Now, the other thing that she does is she has a formula to divide up if you wanted to make the monster have similar features. She's divided it up to the number that they're assigned. And then, like, for instance, when you look at this, these arms are A10, H32. There's going to be an H arms set. So she comes back here and she lays it all out for you so you can find all the matching parts, okay? And she will tell you what colors she recommends for it. Then also she gives you techniques to help make your amigurumi. She does something that I don't do, and that's where when I just use a stitch marker to show my round, because amigurumi is crocheted in rounds, and she has a different color that she travels up. Obviously when you're done, you just pull them out, but that always shows you where your center line is. She talks about the right side and the wrong side, and about how to count your stitches. So she kind of gives you an overview on the techniques you need for amigurumi. Now, she has also, in the more advanced level in 2 and 3, the darker color woods, she has done some more advanced stitches. Now, most of them we know. Slip stitch, chaining, foundation ring, or the magic ring. But one thing that she did do that I needed to look up, and I'm going to be honest, the pictures were a little confusing for me, but she does have a loop stitch, and she shows you how to do it, and then gives you the words underneath that you can read to explain how to do it, like yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over. She also has a technique of splitting the round, which I would call that crocheting in the back loop. That's where you leave a track, if you will, to attach something to the outside. She tells you how you can add those spots, how you can put a bobble in certain spot. So she's very clear on how to do these different techniques. And then in the back, she talks about stuffing them and making them more, stuffing them and attaching their body parts. Here's 2 cute little monsters down here, right? Adding the tails. And then she shows you the order that she thinks you should sew them in. Although I'm going to tell you, I did do the head and the body are attached. I did do the arms, and then I did the legs. The other thing that I do that I don't know what other people think about this is when I make my long tails for sewing on my legs and when they're attached to these sides, I take it when I sew this one and carry the yarn through, sew this foot on, carry it back through, sew that foot on. Unless you do the amigurumi from the Friendly Red Fox, her feet are part of the pattern going up. Some of her patterns are that way, which I really like. And then she talks about how to sew the eyes and how to add detail. Because otherwise, in order to make each monster, I think, have a little more character and a little more something, she talks to you about how you can add different details or do different things to your monsters to make them different. Okay, and then of course, here, I think this is Carrie right here. I think this is the gal. Maybe that's Edward. I didn't read the back of it. But anyway, and she talks about her yarn company, the Toft Group. Maybe it's not hers, it's maybe who she uses or sponsored by. Now, the only tiny downside that may be for some of you is this is a UK pattern book, which means when it says double crochet, you need to do a single crochet. Now, it's not that hard because in this book, if you're doing amigurumi, you'll know that 95% of it is a single crochet in US terms. So it's not that hard. It's not like you're flipping between, because as you guys know that our single crochet is their double crochet, our double crochet is their treble crochet. And there's none of that. It's just basically all single double crochet. So in your mind, you know it's a single. I did learn a new stitch, and that is partly how I made my guy's feet, which is a loop stitch. And so when you, like, if you're making a single crochet, you put your hook in, and before you yarn over, because you know you travel your yarn for your tension over your finger, you stretch it out with your thumb, yarn over, pull through a loop, you yarn over, pull through two, and now you pull your thumb out and now you got a loopy. So that was kind of fun. So I had Jaron look through here, and he tabbed what he wanted. He wanted something like this kind of head. He wanted something with this kind of arms and feet. He chose, which I did not wait, not those feet. These feet. He chose the black sparkle from Big Twist and Red Heart Fiesta, I believe, or primary colors. And this is what I made. Look at this guy's body. Woo, he's a dancer. I did not sew in my eyes because I am not a embroiderer. I suck at embroidery. So basically I just did a magic ring with 6 double crochets, and then to kind of give him this like eye patch in the back, because otherwise it looked really bad. It just looked really weird just to have this blue eye. So I kind of gave him some kind of like eyebrow. Do you see that? And then I put his eyes in. This is his hair. One thing is when you do this kind of hair, it makes the head a lot heavier. So when I was stuffing his neck and then I started doing all this hair, his head got too heavy to support because I didn't make it in the mind, remembering that the head would be so heavy. Okay, so this guy has got a lot of curls. I don't know, there's snakes or something. The one bad thing with using the Fiesta Twist or the Fiesta Primary, I don't remember what it's called, is that it's a long chunk of red, and then it switches from red to black, and then a long chunk of black, and then it switches to orange. So there were a few pieces of hair that have both colors on them. Right, here's one black and yellow. Here's one that's a little black and orange, but you can't really see it that well. Then here comes the arms, and then besides doing the black loopies, I then went on and put the colors. Obviously I don't have red and yellow and orange, to be honest. I just got tired of it. And then here are his legs. And like I was saying, when I sew on the legs, I like to attach them through his body. So this is the giant monster. I sewed his arms right up here by his neck to help support his neck, but still his head is very heavy. So this is what I made for Jaron. It's pretty big. I really did enjoy using this pattern book. Flinny has got his monster chosen. He wants the body of his monster in blue and then his parts in yellow. And so Flynn chose, I tabbed them for myself. Flynn chose this kind of a looking guy, right? Whoa, there goes his arms. They just swung right away. So his body will be blue and his head will be blue. I'm guessing his arms will be blue. And then where do I feet in yellow? These 3 pronged things are going to be yellow. My boys, I guess, are not very creative. Because you could do something really crazy. You don't have to have everything. So, look at you. Well, I guess that kind of matches. You know what I mean? But, so yeah, this is this pattern book. Now, she does have one similar for dolls. And she does have, animals, like bunnies and kittens and puppies and all those. So, I will say, overall, it was easy to read. It did take me a while to figure out the loop stitch, I'm going to be honest. But I do like that she has the different colored woods so that if you're not interested in doing something that's all hard, you could do something with some easier skill levels. And then, like I said, the other thing, in case you're not very creative and you have a hard time, she gives you the patterns to do those creatures. So Willow, he's number 16. you go into the back and it will show you what pieces put together to do him. He is H4, A16, and F15. Okay, so that's my review. Now, I'm going to put a link in the description to this book below. So if you would like to hop onto Amazon and click on that link and buy this book, you can. And then, you know, type in Edward's Crochet by Carrie Lord, and you will see that she has other books. That is my newest video. Now, I want to tell you, to make this amigurumi, I probably crocheted pretty much all day Thursday. No, not really all day, because I had, maybe it was Friday I crocheted all day. Like, I did the head and the body, not all day, but like, that's what I was doing. I was just watching TV and crocheting. I'd get up and run errands and do things. I had to pick up one of Maddie's friends and take another one of her friends home. And I took the kids to basketball. Jared and one of Maddie's friends had basketball, so I took them there. So, I mean, I was doing things here and there. I wasn't sitting there straight for 7 hours. But during the day, during one day's crocheting on and off, I made the head, the body, and 2 legs. Then we had a couple busy days where I had stuff to do, and just this morning, yesterday I made 1 leg, and then this morning I made the fourth one, and I sewed it all together. So it is a few days project. Yeah, so that is all. I hope you check out her pattern books. Remember, they're in UK terms, so if that's hard for you, take yourself a little Post-it, slap her on there just to remind yourself that it's single crochets, not double crochets. And that is all. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Thanks for liking and sharing my videos. And until the next video, happy crafting. Bye.